Hi everyone, this is Ramalinga Prasad Kuppa. Welcome to my channel Pharma World.
Today's topic is packaging and storage scheme for pharmaceutical products.
Let us understand the basics of the packaging requirements. Section 9.20 of ICH Q7 prescribes containers should provide adequate protection against deterioration or contamination of the intermediate or API that may occur during transportation and recommended storage. So, based on this prescription, suitable compatible packaging scheme should be used for marketing the product. Depending upon the product characteristics, the product development team may recommend suitable compatible packaging scheme. So accordingly, a package is a combination of primary pack, secondary pack, label, seal, and any other additional precautions on the finished product container. So a package scheme is a sum total of primary pack, secondary pack, the finished product label, the pilfer proof seal, etc. And any additional precautions may also be a part of the packaging scheme. In several schemes, there is a requirement to insert a silica gel bag to protect the product from accidental ingress of any moisture. Some products need additional protection to keep the product away from accidental water or moisture ingress. For this purpose, a small porous silica gel bag is inserted in between the primary and secondary packaging. As told earlier, there should be a precaution printed on the finished product label saying remove the silica gel bag before opening the primary container to avoid accidental contamination of the product with silica gel. This warning is required when materials are automatically transferred into huge silos for further processing. So before feeding to the silos, the silica gel bag has to be discarded. In certain cases, a carry strap is also a part of the packaging scheme to avoid pilferage or damage to the product. So in certain cases where the secondary package is a cardboard container or a corrugated ply shipper boxes, there is an additional carry strap to avoid pilferage or damage to the cardboard containers. This also is a part of the packaging scheme. For any accidental peel off of the container label, some manufacturers insert an additional product label inside the container. So in some cases, there is an additional label inside the container to identify the product in case there is any accidental peel off of the outer label on the container during transportation or handling at ports. So all these aspects have to be a part of the packaging scheme. There is a tendency to use the words packing materials instead of the words packaging materials by some pharmaceutical manufacturers. Many get confused with the terminology of the packing materials and the packaging materials. Let us see the difference between these two phrases. Packaging means it is a combination of replicate scheme of the primary package, the secondary package, the container, the label, the seal, etc. Let us see this example below. See, this is a bottle packed with water, but this is not unique. Anybody would pack any water in the bottle. There is no unique identification marks on the source of the material. See this example. In this example, this is a packaged water bottle. This contains a specific seal, a specific shape of a bottle, and a specific label. And it is consistent from one bottle to the other. You can find this kind of uniqueness in any branded items. I hope that you understood the difference between these two. The pharmaceutical products are packages and not packs. So try to revise your system from the practice of using packing materials to, change to packaging materials. Interestingly, you can notice that the guideline never says packing materials. It always says as packaging materials. Let us try to understand the various storage conditions for the products. One example could be store in a tight container. That means it does not need control of any temperature or humidity conditions. For products that are neither light sensitive nor temperature sensitive, this storage condition may be applied. This prescribes that the container is sealed tightly and stored at ambient temperature. But it is important to note that the specifications for ambient temperature varies from one climatic zone to the other. For example, the US Pharmacopoeia says it is between 15 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius or up to 30 degrees Celsius depending upon the climatic conditions. The European Pharmacopoeia says it is between 15 degrees Celsius and 25 degrees Celsius. The Indian Pharmacopoeia says any temperature up to 40 degrees is considered as ambient temperature. So depending upon the various climatic zones, the definition for ambient temperature varies. Store in a tight container in a dry place. A dry place is when the relative humidity is not more than 40% at 20 degrees Celsius or equivalent water vapor pressure at other temperatures. So the USP chapter 659 says dry place means the RH should be below 40%. But the RH is variant with temperature. So it is necessary to calculate appropriate humidity for the actual prevailing temperatures. Store in light protective tight container in a dry place. For such conditions, the packaging scheme should have a black bag. When there is a requirement to protect the product from light, it is a must to use a black polyethylene bag as a secondary packaging. Store in tight container in a controlled room temperature in a moisture protective container means an aluminum foil bag should be used in the packaging. Controlled room temperature means it may be at 25 degrees Celsius or 5 degrees Celsius or between 20 degrees Celsius and minus 10 degrees Celsius. Another important point is to protect the product from ingress of accidental water or moisture. In all such cases, it is required to pack in an aluminum foil bag and heat seal it. Tying with a fastener or a cable tie is not adequate. It is also necessary to make sure that the residual air inside the bag should be purged out. Well-closed container, airtight containers are some of the other terminology used for packaging schemes. The controlled room temperature is a generic phrase and different temperature conditions as prescribed should be maintained. It includes 25 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Celsius or minus 20 degrees Celsius to minus 10 degrees Celsius, etc. Some excursions of temperature are permitted, but it is important to note that the excursions have to be calculated on mean kinetic temperature and not absolute temperatures. Occasional excursions of the temperatures are permitted. The excursions have to be calculated against the mean kinetic temperature value and confirm that the average temperature of the day does not cross the ambient temperature. For example, if the storage condition is between 15 and 30 degrees Celsius, it does not mean that you can store the product on the upper range of about 28 degrees on a continuous basis. It is necessary to calculate the mean kinetic temperature and confirm the average of the entire 24-hour data does not cross the ambient temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. I hope you understood this point well. For some products sensitive to the presence of air, it is recommended to blanket the primary package with an inert gas like nitrogen to avoid exposure to atmospheric air. Some products deteriorate on exposure to atmospheric oxygen. The product may turn slightly dull or may have a pink hue. So it is necessary to blanket with inert gas like nitrogen. In some cases, it is recommended to purge with argon gas also. All this information should be a part of the finished product label. I hope that this video is useful for understanding the intent of the packaging material scheme for the product. Thanks for watching. For more videos, please do subscribe, like and share. Thank you.